Kenya has over 2.6 million hectares of gazetted forests, covering 8.83% of the landmass. Kenya is endowed with different forest types, namely rainforests, montane forests, plantation forests, mangroves, and dry forests. These forests are very important for the socio-economic development of the country, but they're currently threatened by deforestation and degradation as a result of conversion to agriculture, infrastructure, urbanization, and charcoal production. This leads to reduced supply of forest goods and services and decline in forest cover. African Forest Forum is addressing these challenges through building strategic human capacity to improve forest management.
We came up with the idea that we need to establish the African Forest Forum, and that would provide a voice for the people on the continent who are interested in forests, in trees, in the ecosystem services that come from there, the products like furniture, and those will have a framework or a platform where they can discuss their issues and then mobilize resources that would then enable them to resolve those issues.
The work of AFF is made possible by the kind financial support from the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA, and the Swiss Agency for Development Cooperation, SDC, as well as other technical partners. AFF has been strengthening management and use of forest ecosystems for community livelihoods as well as encouraging planting trees. It works closely with national institutions such as Kenya Forest Service, KFS. KFS works to enhance development, conservation, and management of Kenya's forest resources base for the equitable benefit of present and future generations.
As a nation, we are at 12.13% tree cover, and we want to move it to 30% tree cover by 2032. It's a big agenda because we have to plant 15 billion seedlings in the next 10 years, and we have started the journey. So we really need a lot of awareness to everybody, and we are really grateful to what African Forest Forum has been doing.
Charity has attended AFF workshops and shared her experiences with other African forest practitioners.
It is sharing the success stories of Africa to the Africans so that the other Africans can learn from the success stories of their continent. And this is the plus for the African Forest Forum.
One key partner of AFF is the Kenya Forestry Research Institute, also known as KEFRI. AFF has a memorandum of understanding with this organization that provides a collaborative framework to jointly implement research activities. These contribute to improving the management and use of forest and tree resources in Africa in ways that will support socio-economic development and environment. Dr. Joshua Cheboiwo has led the organization for over 3 decades. He has worked hard to help balance the nation's agricultural needs with protecting the forest.
Farmers are now tree growers for the market. This is something which I'm very proud about, to have been part of it, putting it in the law, training, building capacity and enthusiasm in tree growing. Up to now, we have a lot of players who are supporting tree growing on private land and also on farms.
The African Forest Forum has been a big supporter of this kind of programs.
But we will see areas where trees, we lose trees, but more trees come on the farms. And that is what we're seeing right now. People were thinking perhaps areas where you have high population densities, you will have less trees. That is not true. Look around, we are here in Kenya, go to most of the highlands. You find a lot of trees there, surviving together with the agricultural crops and animals, dairy animals. So we are seeing a change. You lose trees in the forest, but you have trees coming on farms.
Besides working on forests coexisting with agriculture, AFF builds capacity around livelihoods. Kenya now boasts many plantation forests, such as those managed by Kakuzi, which grows the trees on a commercial basis to make sellable items, poles, timber, thus generating employment and providing income for hundreds of Kenyans. Climate change has emerged as both an issue of mitigation and a reason that forests must be protected. Joshua credits the African Forest Forum for helping this nation and others to deal with the impact of climate change.
It was still a new topic, which most of us were still grappling here and there, but really in bringing the principles, the dynamics, building documentation, and so on was being done coordinated by African Forest Forum, which brought all the ministers of the countries together to understand and how we can deal with issues of climate change.
In recent years, Kenya has had to deal with serious pest issues, including a locust invasion, which affected Ethiopia and Somalia as well.
I'd like to mention about the Mexican cypress. It's called the Cupressus lusitanica and commonly known as cypress. That tree is a very, very important commercial tree species for Kenya. An aphid caught up with this tree and it became a regional problem. It didn't just affect Kenya, but it affected the entire East and Southern Africa region where cypress is commonly grown. And for us to manage this problem, we needed to act together, establish where this aphid had originated from, and then go back there, do a search and find another insect from that area of origin that would manage the cypress aphid.
They were able to find a natural solution without harmful pesticides to their pest problem, and the cypress was saved. AFF's capacity building and sharing of information on pests and diseases in Africa, as well as development of draft protocol for surveillance of pests and diseases, has helped Kenya to deal with such issues. George Ngundo is an inspector and a scientist with Kenya's Plant Health Inspectorate Service. He was introduced to the African Forest Forum by Dr. Mercy Gishora. George has seen Kenya take a high profile on the continent with its ability to fight pests and diseases. One potential crisis dealt with an insect that was destroying maize, Kenya's staple food.
And as you know, COMESA combines 21 countries in East and Central Africa. So we are the reference lab when it comes to plant health. So as soon as that disease was discovered in Kenya, we quickly developed and validated detection methods that we shared among all our neighboring countries. We also offered our facility and our testing capability for their seed. And we were able to test seed that is outbound from Kenya into their countries. We were able to certify it free of the two viruses causing maize lethal-necrosis disease.
All of those in Kenya who have been touched by AFF program recognize how important their work has been.
Now, the African Forest Forum, it has really helped Kenya Forest Service.
So the work of African Forest Forum is well documented. For those who may not have been in a position to attend a workshop, then it's still available online.
The African Forest Forum has been instrumental in equipping stakeholders with tools for the protection and restoration of Kenya's trees and forests across the continent.